By the year 2043, a deadly virus of unknown origin has wiped out a total of 7 billion human beings. The 1% of immune people that are now left live in underground bunkers and struggle to survive in a harsh, post-apocalyptic world. One such survivor is a young man named James Cole, currently wandering the wastelands with his friend. We soon enter the Office of Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, facility. We looked around for a while until I retrieve a broken watch from the skeleton of a CDC scientist. After this, we both return to a discrete location known as Project Splinter. It is a secretive program that consists of a team of scientists led by Dr. Jones. It is revealed that the team has recently built a time machine after 30 years of hard work. With this revolutionary technology, they plan to send me back in time to prevent the virus from spreading. I know that the world they are living in is destined to be doomed, so I agreed to volunteer for this mission and try my best to save the world. Before sending me back in time, Dr. Jones's team gave me special injections to help my body cope with the journey. They then placed me in the huge time machine and sent me back to the year 2015. My mission is to find the chief CDC scientist, Dr. Cassie Rayleigh, who has the information about the source of the disease that will spread in 2017. Unfortunately, due to a technical error, I landed in 2013, but I went forward with the plan anyway. I headed straight to a medical conference where Cassie was presenting a paper on the dangers of communicable diseases. She finished her presentation and quickly got into her car outside. Cassie planned to return to her apartment as usual, when suddenly I appeared in the back seat. Before she could make sense of what was happening, I grabbed her mouth and threatened her to drive away. We soon reached a secluded alleyway where I explained that I'm from the future. The time traveler adds that, if we didn't work together, the whole world would be destroyed. Meanwhile, Cassie's boyfriend Aaron was worried when she didn't show up back at her apartment. He immediately called the police, and it didn't take them long to track down Cassie's car. I, becoming increasingly desperate, began to explain my story, telling her about the future and the mission I am on. Cassie obviously was skeptical of these claims and thought I was a psycho who was obsessed with the world's doom. But I was determined to prove that I was telling the truth. I then pulled out the watch that I had found in the CDC facility back in 2043 AD. Cassie was shocked to see that it was the same watch that she was currently wearing. I then used my knife to scratch the glass of the watch Cassie was wearing. Unshockingly, the exact same scratch mark appeared on the watch that I had brought with me. Upon seeing this, Cassie was left speechless and finally realized that I was telling the truth. I then explained that I was sent to prevent a deadly disease from being released in 2017. I told her that the disease had been created in a lab by a man named Leland Goines. If we can kill him, we would change the course of history. However, a confused Cassie replied that she has never heard of any Leland Goines. This made me realize that she was not the main scientist at the CDC, and she didn't have necessary information yet. So I told her to meet me at the John Adams Hotel in Philadelphia in 2 years' time. I then disappeared into thin air, leaving Cassie stunned and confused. 2 years pass by, and we see Cassie waiting for me in the same hotel on the same day as I had instructed. Her life, however, has dramatically changed since our first meeting. She had told everyone about the disease that would wipe out the world, but no one believed her. Her relationship with her boyfriend Aaron had ended while she had quit her job with the CDC. After waiting for a good few hours, Cassie was starting to lose hope. She was about to give up when suddenly I appeared in front of her. We both then headed to her room, where Cassie inquired about the time travel and the impending doom of the world. I began to explain that in 2017, a deadly disease will spread that will kill millions of people every day. Cassie, as the chief CDC scientist, will search for a cure, but she too will eventually fall victim to the disease. However, before she dies, Cassie will record a message revealing that the disease had been started by a man named Leland Goines. She will make it clear that the only person who can stop it is a man named Cole, me. Upon hearing that her own future self had set this chain of events in motion, Cassie was stunned. My mission is to kill Leland, thereby preventing the disease from spreading. If the mission is successful, there would be no need to build a time machine in the future. This would mean that I would disappear from reality, but it was a sacrifice I was willing to make. Now fully committed to the mission, Cassie revealed that she has been searching for Leland Goines for the past 2 years. She had discovered that he was the CEO of a private company that was involved in making biological weapons. She also knew that he would be attending a party tonight and can use her connections to get both of us in. Later that night, we reached our destination and were promptly joined by Aaron. He approached Cassie and told her that if she hadn't lost her mind to all that world-ending doom talk 2 years ago, they would still be together. Cassie also plays along, pretending to be interested in the conversation. This gave me enough time to scan the room for my main target. I soon spot Leland, who was busy introducing his topmost scientist, Peter, to the guests. I, who was standing nearby, saw it as the perfect opportunity to strike. However, as I approached Leland, the latter's guard saw me pulling out a gun and immediately captured me. Cassie, being the guest who escorted me to the party, was also promptly arrested. Following this, we were both taken to a secret lab where Leland runs several tests on me. Scientist Peter was fascinated by my brain, which seemed to be behaving in a more complex way than normal humans. Peter believed that I was experiencing time differently from others and wants to study me further. After the tests were done, I was thrown into a room with Cassie, but I wasted no time and quickly came up with a plan to escape the place. I took Cassie's watch, the same one she had been wearing in 2013, and hid it in my pocket. That was when Leland entered the room and revealed that he had been studying my brain scans. He claimed that I had the ability to travel through time as he had seen me in 1987 AD. Upon hearing this, I was shocked, as I had never been to 1987 before. Leland added that I was looking for something called the Army of the 12 Monkeys because they were going to end the world. He then ordered his guards to kill Cassie and dissect me for scientific studies. However, I quickly brought the future and the present version of Cassie's watch in contact with each other. This created a temporal storm, causing space-time to slow down and a massive explosion to occur. In the chaos, I managed to save myself and Cassie while Leland was injured. I took advantage of the situation and shot Leland in the head for good measure. I felt a sense of relief that I had finally changed the future and saved the world from destruction. However, Cassie quickly points out that if I had indeed changed the future, I should not be here. My continued existence means that the world would still be destroyed in 2017. I was confused and wondered who else could have allowed the disease to spread. I then told Cassie to get as far away as she could and hide. I disappeared into thin air. Seconds later, I returned to the year 2043 and told everything I did to Dr. Jones. I also revealed that, despite killing Leland, the outbreak still seemed to have occurred. That meant that the virus was released by someone else, and we needed to find the culprit quickly. Jones and his team then started researching and soon discovered an old news clip with a strange monkey logo. Furthermore, they fine-tuned Cassie's recorded message from 2017 and learned that it also mentioned the Army of the 12 Monkeys. After a bit of research, Jones discovered that Leland had a daughter, Jennifer. Upon arriving in my designated time and place, I pretended to be mentally ill. I assaulted 2 police officers and was soon admitted to the same hospital as Jennifer. After spending a few days with her, I learned that her father, Leland, had a secret lab where he was keeping something hidden. Only Jennifer and one other person knew about the lab, but she refused to reveal the address. Meanwhile, Cassie has found out that I was locked in a mental hospital and quickly came to free me. She used her status as a doctor to enter the institution and got a hold of me. As we were engaged in conversation, we shockingly witnessed a group of strange, masked men kidnapping Jennifer. The leader of the group, a tall, old person called the Pallid Man, seemed to know me. He pointed to a scar on his left cheek and claimed that he got the injury because of me. However, I had no memory of ever meeting this man and tried my best to stop him from taking Jennifer. I fought valiantly, but the numbers were stacked against me. The Pallid Man eventually escaped with Jennifer, leaving me to wonder what to do next. I realized that they needed to find the other person who knew about Leland's secret lab. This might be the only option to stop the virus from spreading. Meanwhile, after some more research, Cassie discovered that Jennifer used to work in her father's lab a few years ago. A Haitian doctor named Henry also worked alongside her in the same lab. These two had been the only people who managed to escape a terrorist attack on the lab. every other scientist involved was brutally murdered. Unfortunately, Henry, too, was found dead with a gunshot wound while serving in Haiti in 2014. In a stroke of coincidence, Cassie revealed that she knew Henry and had worked with him in the past. She suggested that I time travel to 2014 so that I can meet Henry and find out where the secret lab was. We could then go to the lab and destroy the virus once and for all. Cassie also warned me that I might encounter a past version of herself, but I should not talk to her, and it could potentially disrupt the timeline. Shortly afterwards, I traveled back to the year 2043 and discussed this plan with Dr. Jones and her team. They came to a conclusion that there was only one way to move forward: find Henry and locate the whereabouts of the secret lab. I then traveled to Haiti in the year 2014, where a deadly cholera outbreak had wrecked the nation. A team of US CDC doctors, including Cassie, were working with local medics to contain the situation from becoming worse. Soon enough, I found Cassie, Henry, and a team of doctors in a temporary medical camp. I wore a mask to disguise myself as a patient and approached Henry. I said I needed urgent help as my family is in trouble. But right at that moment, Cassie arrived at the scene, forcing me to run away. Nonetheless, Henry had more pressing matters for the time being. The camp was running out of antibiotics and other medical supplies. He thus needed to go to a local dealer and bring back a fresh stock of those essentials. As Henry was making his way to the local dealer, he realized that someone was following him. That guess turned out to be true, as I soon confronted him, and we come face to face for the first time. I quickly explained that I'm here to know about Leland's secret lab and don't want to hurt anyone. Upon hearing this, Henry instantly realized the severity of the matter and agreed to help. But first, he insisted on fetching the fresh pile of antibiotics. Following this, we both walked together to a nearby local home. We were fetching important medical supplies when things started to go wrong. The pallid man, who curiously didn't have any scar on his left cheek, arrived on the spot with several armed guards. He didn't recognize me, which can only mean one thing: that was the first time that we were meeting. Whatever may be the case, I realized that Henry was in danger. I quickly got ready to fight and started attacking the pallid man's guards. That gave Henry enough time to flee the scene, all the while I held his pursuers back. I finally came face to face with the pallid man, who seemed to be strong for his age. Nevertheless, I grabbed a nearby bottle and smacked it across his face. That was how the pallid man got the scar on his left cheek, a token that he would carry forever. He also decided to back down for the time being and fled the scene. Shortly afterwards, I found Henry and demanded the location of Leland's secret lab. Henry claimed he didn't know, as he and the other scientists were transported there blindfolded. But he told me that just before the attack, the lab had installed a high-end decontamination system. I should track that equipment in order to locate the whereabouts of the lab. Now that I had that information, I couldn't allow Henry to walk away alive. I knew that the pallid man would not relent until he too got the location of the secret lab. Thus, with a heavy heart, I whipped out my gun and shot Henry in the head.